Hey there, folks. Resting comfortably in the bed here, managing my pain as always. I know we're kind of coming up to the end of the school year, and I'm reflecting as my youngest is going to be graduating as a senior this year. And I'm reflecting upon all the experiences I had with all the IEP meetings because I'm working with parents who are going to be engaged with the school system for the foreseeable future. And I'm going to need to be able to support them mostly through the trial and learning that I've engaged in over the years that help me find the best strategies for really smoothing the way between parents, students, and educators. But one thing to start off with, which is the obvious if you've been there before, our relationship as parents of neurodivergent kids can be pretty contentious because the school is made to cater to a very transactional way of living in the world. You know, you pay your bills, you go to work, you're in traffic, you get your groceries, and we're kind of trained to do that. We're trained to go through the motions to develop these habits of a good citizen. And school, unfortunately, is decades behind the knowledge of all the different ways that people show up and learn. And the system really doesn't allow too much flexibility for a person who's other than normal or average or living in that imaginary mean that only exists in statistics. But what ends up happening is the school is mandated to get people to show up right around average, and our kiddos are outliers. They have so many unique needs that when you're kind of warehousing kids and educating them in big groups, I think a lot of the kids fall through the cracks, not just ours. And what ends up happening is we develop a scarcity mentality, like there's only a little bit of attention to go around or limited resources, which is true, because if you know how schools are funded, they are funded on a lowest bidder system. What can they get for the cheapest? Well, you're not exactly going to get people that, how do I put this delicately? If you don't pay people what they're worth, they're not going to show up. Okay? There are a lot of educators that are fantastic. They're there because it's their life purpose. But their needs are not met. Their emotional needs, their time needs, their sleep needs. They're overworked, no matter what you believe about summers off and what a great gift that is. You have no idea what's asked of teachers these days. And I don't know about you, but I tend to be at my best when my needs are met. And I think that's fair to say about anyone. And if a teacher's needs are consistently unmet, how can they show up and be their best for your student? And some parents who are in survival mode and are very me will say, they knew what they were getting into. That's not my problem. They need to figure it out. All I care about is my kid. Good luck getting anything done with that level of entitlement. Now, the students' needs aren't met either. This structure of piling all these classes back to back with very little rest and downtime, who the heck does that work for? It works for the system. It works for the bureaucracy. It doesn't work for the people involved, and if it does, it's rare. And parents' needs aren't met. A lot of parents have a two-parent income, or they're a single parent, having to wear all the hats, go to all the appointments, manage all the meltdowns. Who the heck has taken care of them? So all of these people with unmet needs come together in a meeting once a month, once a quarter, and it's back-to-back meetings. So everybody's stressed out. Everybody's exhausted. People are trying to mask and be professional and be cordial. All the while, they're feeling overwhelmed. What do you do about all this chaos? You change the rules. And that's kind of my social worky background, my own penchant for working collaboratively that led to this approach. And what it basically boils down to is Instead of thinking adversarial, I think win-win. I come to the table with any teacher, any administrator, with the spirit of we are teammates. We all want to be successful. It's not a my kids' needs or your needs. It's got to be all of ours. Because the better we all do, the better we collaborate, the greater the likelihood we're all going to feel successful, as opposed to a teacher who's trying to give just enough to calm a parent down so they can breathe for a second. So what I typically do, in the title of this, I alluded to a particular exchange I had with a teacher. And my memory being what it is, I don't remember which of my sons or which teacher it was, but I do remember the conversation. I could tell the teacher was tired. And, I remember what the context was. It was one of those, meet with the teachers to get the review of what a joy your child is in class and how much you look forward to their smiling face every day. That canned thing to make parents feel better. And if it's true, that's great. So I could tell this teacher was tired. I could tell that it was back to back, and she needed to be snapped out of that trance of, I need to be in a role, I need to people please. I gave her permission to be human, and I did a full mea culpa, which requires a lot of self-awareness on your part. So this is what I did. I said to her, before we begin, I want to make it very clear that I understand that my son is a handful. He's not perfect. He's got his challenges, and I understand that it could be very challenging for you. But I also want you to know, I don't want you to blow sunshine. I don't want you to tell me that he's having a great day or that he's a joy in class when something's not working. I am here to help you as the educator succeed. My son can't be successful if you don't feel successful. So I'm not just going to pelt you with everything I think you're doing wrong or not fast enough or every right of mine that's being violated. I'm going to come to the table with an ask that we examine this, we collaborate, we brainstorm. So we share in the solution and we share in the win, as opposed to me barking orders and making demands. I don't know anybody who responds well to that. But how well do you respond when someone wants your input? They want to know your thoughts, your feelings. What do you need? How more likely are you to get their investment in it by taking it that way? Now, of course, this is just not for teachers. This is for all relationships. So there are many, many pluses to this, but one of the main things that I've noticed is the level of engagement with the teacher. We exchange emails and calls more often, and I hear about things sooner, as opposed to 3 months go by, we're at the meeting where everything is recorded and on the record, then they tell me the kids fail in the class. No bueno. So I make sure to keep that line of communication open, and when I respond to these exchanges, I re-emphasize the values that are driving this. So I'll say things like this. I'm so glad we could collaborate on this. I'm so glad we really worked together well to solve this problem, because I want to remind them that what we're doing isn't accidental. It was, wow, I happened to catch a parent in a good mood today. Whew. I don't want it to feel random. It needs to feel deliberate, purposeful, conscious. So I'll remind them that what we are doing is an agreement. We've agreed on a win-win relationship to work together, to collaborate. And by thanking them, I'm also reminding them that this works. This feels good to do this way. So it gives a little bit more leverage for them to come to the table, being more relaxed, open, prepared to be collaborative, as opposed to, I hope I don't piss off this parent today. Follow me? And I teach my clients the thinking, the approach, the values around this. Because remembering scripts, that's just masking. It's important that it be authentic and come from your heart. So when you embrace the values that drive this, the language tends to come. So I'm going to leave you with this. Hopefully this has been helpful. And make sure you share it with some other folks who can benefit. And until next time, thanks for being you.